It's very difficult to know how to prepare for an ayahuasca ceremony because you're really trying to prepare for something that you can't be prepared for.
Nunca pudiendo dominar sitoni, cuerpo sitoni. Nunca pudiendo dominar sitoni, espíritu sitoni. Cuidar y cuidar.
Every single time I drink ayahuasca, what I thought ayahuasca was is something else.
The ayahuasca ceremony for me is the most beautiful experience I've ever had.
And things became lighter, and things became beautiful, and I started ascending.
The ayahuasca ceremonies can be terrifying, they can be horrific, they can be dark, they can be demonic.
I couldn't get out of it, I couldn't process thought, I couldn't do anything except fear and darkness, and it was the most terrifying moment of my life.
The whole room sounded what I guess my picture of hell would be like.
Help! Someone help! 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 Help!
We have people who come here that doubt everybody who comes here, doubts everybody who comes here, suffers.
For me, it was like either this or I died. I really was at this end of this road, and I didn't see any further way for me.
I didn't think it would ever end, and I thought, I'm never taking this stuff again. I'm never going to take it again. I just can't do this. I can't do this ever again.
Have you gone on that journey? Have you gone on the journey of your doubt? Have you gone on the journey of your fear?
I'm not scared of you anymore. Go away. Go away. Get out of me. Get out of me now.
Suena ringi, variacióncito y mi. Despejado, purosito y claro, divisan guicho y mi. Mundo enterito y mi.
People get on planes and come down to the Amazon to do this because they're looking for the real deal. They're looking for an experience that's truly traditional, based in the traditions, in the very place, the birthplace of this medicine form.
Tronco y manta y cielo, ayahuascacito y mi.
Ayahuasca is a visionary medicine that's been used throughout the Amazon for hundreds of years. It was initially discovered by native populations and passed down from shaman to shaman in different lineages, finally to the local population. Westerners typically come to the Amazon interested in participating in ayahuasca ceremonies and searching for shamanic centers where they have a safe and protected environment in which they can participate in the ceremonies. One of those centers is Blue Morpho. My name is Hamilton Souther. I'm 29 years old. I'm originally from Los Gatos, California. I now reside in the Peruvian Amazon. I'm the owner of Blue Morpho, the founder of Blue Morpho, and also one of the shamans here. I'm absolutely not a guru. I'm absolutely not a teacher. I'm absolutely not a monk. I'm not a priest. The only title I accept is Maestro Ayahuasquero Palero Sananguero. That is a specialist of ayahuasca, the Amazonian trees, and sanango, another kind of medicinal plant. I accept that title because it is a title that is given based on collective experience and current practice. When I was 22 years old, I came into a place in my life where I felt that I had lacked direction and I didn't really know what was happening. I reached a place that was incredibly emotionally difficult for me. It was filled with a lot of pain and turmoil. It was filled with a lot of anger about the past, a lot of resentment about different experiences that I had had in my past. And I headed to California to move back with my mom for a period of time to help repair a relationship that I had with her that had become more difficult during my university years. It was through that period of time that, as I was working on that relationship with my mom and also finding my direction, that I came to a place that was really one of my darkest moments. I had finally decided that the life that I had been living wasn't something that I was interested in continuing. And so I'm standing in my mother's kitchen and I'm complaining again about all the same things that I always complained about. And she says to me, you know, I'm tired of hearing you complain about the same things. If you don't want your life anymore, just give it back to spirit. I thought to myself, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, give it back to spirit. What spirit? I didn't believe in spirits. I didn't believe in spirituality. I didn't believe in anything. And so she says to me, well, if you don't believe in spirit, nothing's going to happen. So give it back. And so I did. I turned to the wall and just started screaming, I give it back. I give it back. I give back my life. I give it all back, spirit, if this is what it is. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't know how to do this. If this is the best that I can do, I'm doing a terrible job at it. I give it back, I give it back, I give it back. And I was screaming, I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. If you're out there, if there's anything out there, help me, help me. After that, there were no clap of thunder or lightning bolts or really anything. But I had one of the first honest moments, a moment without thought, a moment without ego, a moment without personality. And it just streamed out of me. And I cried, and I cried, and it just came out. Then nothing else happened. Everything continued as normal. Until it was either that night or the night after, the spirits came for me. They came for me was the first time I'd ever had an interaction with spirits. And not only did they come for me, they stayed. From that day on, I could see them inside ordinary reality, outside ordinary reality. They were with me all the time. Within a very short period of time, about 2 months, 2.5 months, I had learned how to be able to put myself into trance at will to be able to speak with them and communicate with them. And they told me that I would be heading to Peru, where I would find within 90 days a prophesized apprenticeship. It was in September of 2001 that I left for my first journey to Peru.
Mi nombre es Alberto Torres Dávila y yo soy el vegetalista, sananguero, palero, ayahuasquero. Mi abuelo me convidó el tabaco cuando tenía 8 años. Él me dijo para que no ser el cuerpo flojo, para hacer un trabajo activo. Así me han criado mis padres a mí. Entonces, de ahí tomamos el ayahuasca. Seguimos hasta que yo pues ya sabía ya curar mancharitos, airaditos, algunos cutipaditos, menos todavía hechizado. Cuando ya he tenido los 17 años, ahí sí me he arriesgado ya a curar porque ya me creía ser un poquito más o menos, no tanto, pero sí, a costa de algo de mi abuelo, ya de mi padre. Ya, blindadito, acerito, protegido cuerpocito. Andan, dan, 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 di, andan, dan, 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 dan. Dun, 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 dun.
Absolutely not. All the red ayahuasca and black
This is Alberto Torres Davila. He is the master shaman that took me under his wing and started teaching me 5 years ago. At first he's a little shy, but he's not really that shy at all. Once you get him talking, he really gets going. There are lots and lots of different kinds of shamans in Peru. The word shaman doesn't really mean very much. I think the best thing that we can maybe say it means is a kind of spiritual worker, or a person that practices a certain kind of natural medicine, but with a spiritual foundation or a spiritual basis. So here you find shamans that are usually named after the kinds of medicinal plants they specialize in. So in this case, Alberto is considered to be an ayahuasquero, shaman who specializes in ayahuasca, palero, shaman who specializes in the medicinal trees, and also sananguero, shaman who specializes in sanango. So an ayahuasquero is going to typically make their plant, or their group of ayahuasca with 4 plants. The plants that they'll usually use, the vine of ayahuasca, they'll use the leaves of the chacruna tree, which provide vision. They're going to use mapacho, jungle tobacco. That's called Nicotina rustica. It's different than the tobacco that's in American cigarettes or pipe tobacco. And possibly the leaves of toé, which is a kind of brugmansia similar to datura. They're going to utilize the barks of the tree as part of their ayahuasca preparation. Now the rationale behind that is that they will bring and merge the spirit of the trees into the ayahuasca.
Okay, everyone move out of the way. Keep your distance.
It is not to provide visionary properties to the ayahuasca in terms of a biochemical reaction, but rather a spiritual merging of the medicinal tree spirits that are held within the bark into the actual ayahuasca. So that when the liquid ayahuasca you have it will contain not only the ayahuasca medicine spirits, it will also contain the tree medicine spirits as well. And that liquid ayahuasca that you drink will be liquid spirit. So all of the green vines that are growing up on these trees are all ayahuasca. This is a mixture of cielo ayahuasca and calalampa ayahuasca. What's important is that these are the 2 kinds of ayahuasca that create energetic ascension, which is what allows for personal transformation, personal growth, learning, and or healing. Ayahuasca is not a drug. Participating in ayahuasca ceremonies positively transforms a person mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. The changes are real and permanent.
Until very recently, ayahuasca was an entirely unknown area to mainstream Western medicine and Western science.
Ayahuasca in the Western world is misunderstood. When ayahuasca is broken down into its chemical components, it's misunderstood.
So I think amongst those who know about ayahuasca, there is a growing interest and growing appreciation that there is an untapped potential for fascinating study. On the other hand, I'd have to say that most practitioners of mainstream Western medicine are entirely ignorant of that such a phenomena as ayahuasca even exists.
The chemical components of ayahuasca are designed to affect you only enough so that you can be freed from your egoic consciousness and move into a visionary state that allows you direct experience of the presence of spirit and spirits, not the chemical components being misconstrued as medicine.
La gente vienen confundido de sus países, creen que es la droga, no es una planta medicinal que Dios ha puesto en la tierra.
You cannot take ayahuasca by yourself and have it be medicine.
You'll never be able to package the ayahuasca experience into a pill, hand it to a patient, and tell them to take it and then come back with the report.
You have to have the plants, the spirits of the plants, and the master shaman who manages the interaction between you and those spirits.
The ayahuasca experience is really grounded in the context in which it is occurring. And almost always ayahuasca experiences are taken in a group context, which is facilitated by someone with great expertise and a high level of training in regards to administering ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca is incredibly powerful. It is not for everybody. But for the people that it helps deeply and directly. It is incredibly beautiful, but it requires serious practice and serious training.
Ahí viene nuestro Padre Jesucristo.
My name's Mark. I'm from Birmingham in England. I'm 32 years of age. I suppose the last time I had any sort of normal semblance of a life was I was working as a computer programmer down in London, just living with some friends in a shared flat. And I left that job back in 2004 to go travelling around Latin America. I was kind of just drifting along in life. The work was fine, it was well paid, I was reasonably happy, but you know, it was just like something missing, something not quite right. I was never depressed, but I was never really happy, and I thought, you know, something not quite, there's a bit more to life that I don't quite get. And I had no idea what it was, but I knew I couldn't just stay in the job I was doing. I needed to do something else, which is why I went travelling. Came across Blue Morpho, did a week-long trip with them, and things have never been the same since.
Okay, so right now, we're starting the process of layering the pots with the different kinds of plants that we have collected. So the very first thing Don Alberto is doing is they've blown tobacco smoke into the pots to smudge the pots, to purify the pot, and to create an environment to now receive the plants.
My name is Sonia Embry, and I'm 40 years old. I was born and raised in Ottawa, Canada, and I currently live in Vancouver, Canada, where I work at the University of British Columbia, and I coordinate a program of undergraduate research for students. I come to Blue Morpho in order to heal. I was severely sexually abused as a child. I first heard about ayahuasca about 4 years ago and was very interested in that because I knew I had traumatic memories to relive and release.
Sananga provides us spiritual medicine, protection, as well as mariación. Mariación are the visionary effects of ayahuasca.
For me, it was like either this or I die. And I mean, I would never commit suicide, but that's how I felt. Like I really was at this end of this road, and I didn't see any further way for me. I felt like I'd tried everything, like my PhD in psychology, and I read tons of books about sexual abuse, child sexual abuse, therapy. I just felt like I had exhausted all possibilities.
We're going to blow smoke into the pots again. Then we are going to start placing the first layer of chacruna. Remember that chacruna is the leaf that provides the vision to ayahuasca.
I did have somebody tell me, you know, that not to get my hopes up too much in case it didn't work in the way that I hoped, but I did not have any skepticism at all. I really felt in my heart, I knew that this was going to help me.
The smoke is blown over the ayahuasca. It is then placed in the pots.
Jacob from Las Vegas. I'm a carpenter out there in Vegas. I've been living in Vegas probably about 11 years. And just recently, you know, I got a hold of my dad. And, you know, we've been talking about coming down here.
What made you decide to come down here?
A lot of different things. It was things I was going through in my life at the time. Really just with family and my work. Being a nobody to me and not providing good for my kids is probably my worst fear on a daily basis. Like, it really scares me. I didn't really know what I could do to make myself better or to just better myself. I was kind of looking for any kind of out I could, or just to kind of get the load off my shoulders or get that weight that was just pressing down on me. I couldn't do anything, couldn't go anywhere.
The pots are then compacted. They are not stirred. They are compacted very, very tightly into the pot.
You know, me and my dad were talking about it. We were talking about Blue Morpho, you know, and I researched it online and got to reading about it and just interested me. And something kind of drew me here.
As we work with these energies and we learn to transcend our fear of them, we will become stronger.
Any skepticism toward what you're about to go through?
Yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit. You know, when he talks about the spirit realm and all this energy and everything like that. It's real Greek to me.
My name's Debs and I live in Brighton in England, and I'm 37 years old. I work as a consultant. I do that's basically a 9-to-5 office job. Nothing out of the ordinary in terms of my day-to-day life. I'm single. I live on my own, and I consider myself a fairly independent person. But I've become more adventurous as the years have gone by, and that's why I've ended up back here in the Amazon jungle, just 5 months after the first time that I was here. In the last 3 years of my life, I've become more aware of the spiritual aspect of my being, and Blue Morpho is one more step on that path of spirituality. I wasn't a spiritual person when I was younger. I was pretty much like I imagine everybody was, brought up in a Christian family, but no real sense of God and divinity. I would have considered myself an atheist. And it's only very recently in my life, so in the last 3 or 4 years, that I've become more aware that what we consider the material world is not all there is. And I've started to question my purpose, the purpose of my life and the reason why I'm here. And as part of that, I became aware that, you know, there is something beyond what we experience in the day-to-day.
Yeah, no.
Ayahuasca is a path of opposite.
Yeah.
If you are experiencing fear, you need love.
Limpia monge medicina, limpia monge medicina, limpia monge medicina, limpia monge medicina, na 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 na.
My name is Nikolai Ordal, and I am 26 years old, soon to be 27. I'm from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, where it's very, very cold in the winter. And for work, to make a living, I work for a nonprofit agency doing PR, computer stuff, web design, editorial work. And on a passionate note, I make music and do a lot of self-study and some writing. And for the past 2 years, I've been coming down here to the Amazon to work with ayahuasca and the plant spirits. There's still a self-doubt in me that I'm really, really sick of. I'm just tired of it. And I want it to go, and I want it to go. It's a really extreme form of anxiety, and causing things like just shaking and trembling voice and the inability to articulate communication that I know is within me and I know is there. But, you know, there's these blockages that don't want it. It's like these parts of myself that don't want to go because they've been there for so long, and they come from traumas and memories and, you know, repeating things that happened in years past and just focusing on failures and focusing on moments of discomfort and negativity. I'm just tired of it. I'm just really, really tired of it. I want to grow. I want to be pure in everything that I am, and I want to be able to express my place in divine creation. And that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here. And to be honest, it's really scaring the crap out of me right now.
Chuya, 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 cuerpocito con ayari, sin ningunas aflicciones con ayari.
My name's Jerry Jacknowitz. I'm 41 years old. I work as an artist, both independently and doing digital painting for films. I feel like I'm a really nice guy. I'm happy, but I also carry all the crap that everybody else carries, low self-esteem, wondering what on earth I'm doing on this planet, and trouble with relationships. When I was young, I was always the littlest kid in school, and I was picked on, and I was terrible at sports, and really withdrew from that. And even within my adult relationships, I always had difficulty with confrontation, you know, difficult relationships, and I had a tough time defending myself or even sticking up for myself. That's something I need to let go of, because I found myself in a repeating cycle of this behavior. It's like over and over and over again within my interpersonal relationships. I came here to learn and to grow and to heal my wounds and to feel whole again. Right now, I don't have any skepticism. Until I experience it, obviously I have no idea what to expect. But right now, I just feel very trusting.
So the spirits come along and they say to me, you have to go into the jungle and you're going to drink ayahuasca. So I went into the jungle, I found a shaman, and I drank ayahuasca. And during that first ceremony, I found my apprenticeship. So after my first couple ayahuasca ceremonies, I started formally apprenticing under the tutelage of 2 different maestros over the course of a year. The relationship with both of them ended poorly, and I was left in the Amazon alone, without any direction, not sure where to head, and I felt that the path of my apprenticeship had come to an end. You're thinking like, hey, I'm going down a path that's a really good path, and all of a sudden, you're just presented with a mess. And so I did what any apprentice would do, and I asked the spirits, what am I going to do? And they said to me to go back out to the jungle to be able to find Alberto, who I'd already met previously, and I had participated in 2 ayahuasca ceremonies with him. I said, find Alberto, and ask him if he will be your master shaman. And so that's what I did. I went into the jungle and I asked him. And he didn't tell me the answer the first day. He told me the next day.
Y la gente decía, ¿cómo? ¿Por qué le vas a enseñar a un americano? Él llega a aprender, él te va a dar una patada al culo, va a llevar la medicina de acá a su tierra. Yo le dije que no. Yo me voy, le digo, yo tengo esa conciencia limpia, ese corazón bueno de enseñarle. Como también caiga el que me caiga, le voy a enseñar y va a ser maestro.
That night he consulted with his guides, with the spirits that he works with. And he came back and he said that he felt like I was really asking for my heart and that I really wanted to learn, that he would accept me. They told me that he would accept me for the entirety of his life. And that commitment had been made, that bond had been made.
Ya tenemos ya amistades ya profundo, de sobre de la medicina. Hemos hecho un pacto de aprendizaje hasta el día de la muerte.
During that period of time, every single ceremony was learning. Every single ceremony was something new. Every single ceremony was just amazing. It was what I always wanted ayahuasca to be. It's what I always thought apprenticeship could be like. It was loyalty unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And it was through that relationship that we were able to develop our own pacts of medicine. Alberto made that pact with me, and I made that pact with Alberto. That we'd stand by each other and we would help each other until the very end of our lives.
Pura, pura medicina, pura, pura luz divina. Protegido cuerpo Sitoni. Nunca, nunca pudiendo dominar Sitoni, cuerpo Sitoni. Nunca, nunca pudiendo dominar Sitoni, espíritu Sitoni. Cuidar ingi, cuidamos.
5 ayahuasca ceremonies here set up direct change for 6 months to a year in a person's life. It's an evolution that takes place. The first ceremonies generally start out darker, heavier, harder, filled with fears, darker elements, and darker spirits. The middle ceremonies are more ecstatic. They're filled with light, they're filled with joy, they're filled with love and tremendous change. And at the end of the week, the ceremonies all come together, bringing everybody back into a centered, grounded, and stable place to be able to go home. Ayahuasca ceremonies take place in the dark because light is afflicting to the eyes. It is traditional to drink ayahuasca at night. It is considered a time of spirit. It's the time when spirits walk, and it's what allows greater vision and concentration of those spirits. There are a variety of elements present in an ayahuasca ceremony. There's the liquid ayahuasca that's actually drunk in the ceremony, the presence of the shamans, the Icaros, which is a sacred system of communication between the spirits and the shamans. Shacapas, which are the leaf rattles and instruments that are played during the ayahuasca ceremony. Mariacion, which is the total visionary effects of the ayahuasca. The visions themselves. There's the purge, which is the release of any kind of energy during the ayahuasca ceremony, which could be either physical or spiritual in nature. And finally, the resolution of the ceremony. This is an evolutionary process where every element of the experience is necessary to create transformation. Well, at the beginning of the week at any ceremonies, as we're moving into the first ceremony and the second ceremony, especially the first ceremony, there's a tremendous amount of collective anxiety. There's a lot of fear that's going on. People are scared. They're not sure what to expect. It's going to be a new experience, an experience that they've never really had before. They're wondering what's going to happen, what they're going to see. A lot of the preparation that goes into preparing someone is, in a sense, getting them ready to be able to handle, or tools to be able to handle, worst-case scenarios.
Scared of what I might see, what might happen during the ceremony. You know, they say what is inside you will come out and you'll be able to see it. And if that's true, then I don't know if this hut's going to be big enough, because, you know, I got a lot of bottled up issues. And, you know, a lot of bad things happened in my past. And, you know, who knows what's inside there.
No matter how many times I drink, I'm always scared beforehand. I always think, oh, I'm not sure I can do it tonight. But you just do it. You just, you know, you just find enough courage to drink one more time.
To be honest, it's really scaring the crap out of me right now. Even though I've done this several times before, it's really, really scary.
I thought I knew what it meant to be scared. I thought I knew what fear felt like. This is a level of fear that you don't get in ordinary reality.
I'm really looking forward to tonight's ceremony, but I'm a little nervous. I have a feeling I'm going to take a beating.
It's very normal and understandable to feel anxious and nervous and terrified. I've stood outside ceremony house crying. I'm so terrified. But I just, you know, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
The ayahuasca ceremony for me is the most beautiful experience I've ever had. The ayahuasca ceremony is something that is so sacred, it is birthed from pure love from the insides of our hearts. We give our entire lives to it. We call to all the spirits of light, to the four winds, the north, south, east, and west.
Salud.
Salud.
Salud. Salud.
Muy rico.
The first ceremony took me to a place where I thought I could never ever drink ayahuasca again. It was just far, far too intense.
It was a really tough one. I didn't expect it to be as tough as it was.
The first hour in ceremony, nothing was really happening, but I knew something was coming, and the energy was just like building and building, and my heart was just pounding like crazy, and I was just like, just bring it now, like I can't take it anymore, you know?
As soon as it started coming on, I got a little bit nervous, like, uh-oh, what's this going to be like? And instantly broke out in a sweat.
Girando con tu capa, llamando, variación.
We're in ceremony, the Mariación starts to come in, and everything starts to get going. That's when it starts to get fun, you know?
This time I think I just went, woo, it's time for the ride, and and that was it. And then I was in it.
The energies start to build, and the energies are getting stronger, and the energies are being straightened, and the heart center is coming forth, and it's starting to open, and the presence of the spirits are coming, and divinity's present, and light's present, and medicine's present, and spirits are present.
En la ceremonia se ve espíritus buenos, espíritus malos.
And the demonic elements start to come forth, and they start to come out of everybody, and the cross energy is being released, and people are throwing up, and it starts to build and build and build.
It's starting to come up, and I can feel this power, this energy.
And at that point, it's basically managing chaos. It's just chaos. It's chaos, 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 chaos for about the next 2 to 3 hours.
Help! Someone help! 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 Help me!
I've seen a lot of crazy images, a lot of bad images. Thought for a while I couldn't handle it mentally.
You know, it's hard because it brings you face to face with your deepest fears, all your sadness, all your anger, all your fears.
Get it out. If you can't release it, look within yourself to find what is still holding on to it.
You have to face them, and you have to get rid of them. You have to overcome them, purge them from your body.
I'm kneeling up and I'm trying to purge, and I'm over my bowl, and I'm making it, and I know I'm getting louder and louder as this is happening.
It almost took me to the point of screaming out, and I thought, if it's going to be like this the whole time, this is going to be so hard. And I asked what I needed to do, and it said, go to the bathroom.
I was pretty nervous on what I was going to see, you know. And maybe that had to do with, you know, my ceremony being kind of terrifying, you know, just because I was terrified going into it.
There are different kinds of visions, there are different kinds of spirits, there are lulls.
Cuando ya no aguantan, bajarle un poco la mareación, porque no tanto ya se alocan, gritan. Y hay que saber controlar también Bájalo, si no, a la ducha, que se duche para que baje esa calentura, le baje un poco, ¿no? Con agua a la cabeza, bueno.
There are times when it peaks and it gets stronger. And you build it, and you work the Ikaros, and you're working the Shikapa, and you're building an ecstatic state. You're building a state where all of a sudden you're going to feel amazing.
I just felt as if my whole heart was filling up with light, and I just let it all come in, and when I did, I'm happy!
You're building up a state of consciousness and a state of energy within you that's starting to release everything that makes someone feel down, morose, crossed, pained in the day. And you call, and you call forth, and you invoke spirits, and they come and they help you.
Arcángel Miguel, Oriel, Gabriel, Rafael Sitoini, cuida ringi, cuida mongi, cuerpo Sitoini.
At the same time, the spirits talk to us, so they're talking. Rarely do we actually move into the visionary space of a person ourselves, meaning placing our own awareness or our own focus into their visionary space. If we did that, we would have exactly the same visions that they're having at that time.
I was just like in one hell realm after another. And I knew I was releasing stuff, but it didn't feel like it was going to be sort of endless.
It was basically every possibility of fear and of destruction in my mind was brought before my eyes.
I was really receiving a lot of information, a lot of just incredible information about the history of architecture and math and sacred geometry and puzzles and the way things fit together and the way things came to be. I really got it that these are archetypes. These are not about a specific belief system or a specific, you know, you have to believe this, you have to believe that. It was just the truth of it, and I caught that, and you know, I let go of a lot of prejudice.
What we do see are different kinds of energetic patterns, different kinds of spirits, and different kinds of entities.
To me, the tree spirits don't appear as, you know, entities or like ghosts, but rather specific types of patterns in the energy.
So we're watching the energetic patterns, and in that instance, we can read the energetic pattern. We don't want to wait for a spirit to manifest physically in physical form in that room. You know, if that's a demonic element, you're going to have a demonic element physically manifested in that room. That's not a good idea. And it can happen.
It was just like releasing demon after demon after demon. It was pretty intense.
And so we're working with the energetic pattern of it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it coalesce. We're seeing it come out of somebody's body. We're seeing the essence of its energy without it being a physical object. Okay? And we're dispelling that energy before it ever even manifests. So the energies are being purged. We're seeing them come out of the person, and we're releasing them.
Felt like I got some things out. Things that were deep inside me.
So as that energy is starting to come down, the spirits tell us when we've done, in a sense, enough work for that night. Then we're going to hold the space, generally until midnight or a little bit after midnight, until it is clear and that the spirits have given the okay, the go-ahead, that everybody is in a protected space to be able to continue on with the rest of their ceremony, however long that may take. As the ceremony is coming to an end, it's a period of time of levity. It's a period of time of joy. It's a period of time to be able to release, you know, the tension that had been built up through going through something that could have been chaotic or difficult or just intense.
A lot of laughing, a lot of screaming, in a good way though.
It's a period of time that, you know, we tell different kinds of jokes, we're laughing, we're having fun. A lot of people are releasing physically still, you know, there might be someone in the bathroom making some noise, that always gets a good laugh, you know, someone up front. So the end of the ceremony is a time of levity, the end of the ceremony is a time of fun. It's a period of time when once the lights come on where the seriousness of the ceremony has been dispelled.
Hey, what shall we talk about next?
And it's a period of time to experience some humor. It's a period of time to experience relief.
Yeah, that was my first ceremony, and it was full on. It was really full on, and I've got to go back in there tonight and do it all again.
You want an experience? Love yourself. You want to transform? Love yourself. You want to heal? Love yourself. Do it because you can. Not for any other reason. The moment you love yourself, the moment you will be healed.
I've always been afraid. I've always felt weak and afraid of confrontation, afraid of other people, afraid that people were going to be upset with me. And as a result, I've avoided a lot of direct interaction with a lot of people. I felt like something is holding me and crushing me and holding me back, and something inside.
I really have been struggling all of my life. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'm not in my body. I don't have a memory of ever being in my body. I do know that I left it when I was 3 years old, but basically the implications of that is I don't have a sense of having skin. Colors are all muted for me. I'm in extreme physical pain, and I'm split off from myself, and I don't have what's called like a life energy. So I've carried on with my regular daily living, but it's just been a real struggle.
I would like to say I'm easygoing, but I'm really not, you know. I got a lot of baggage, you know, emotional, I guess you could say, emotional baggage. You know, a lot of problems in the past, you know, I've had, you know, that may be the burden that I have today, you know. I lost a friend, a real close friend, to in a car accident due to drunk driving. I had 4 other friends in the car at the same time, and actually the only one was killed was my friend Mike. And everything was kind of just, it wasn't great before that, but everything just seemed different after he died. Friends, family, just the whole vibe around, you know, the group of friends. And I don't know, it just seems weird. Everything after that just started to decline. My social life, you know, and my work, with my kids, with my family, with my girl, with my ex-girlfriend. Just kind of everything, just kind of, you know, downward spiral. You know.
What's that meaning?
This is a mixture of alcantha, male garlic and white onion, which we use to protect our bodies.
Cielo, cielo, ayahuasca, sitoini, pote, pote, Maria, sitoini, claro, claro. Domina, sitoini, pote, pote, cuerpo, sito, pote, pote, espíritu, sitoini.
I consider myself healthy as a person, but I think you know, I carry around a lot of negativity, a lot of negative emotion, like we all do at some time in our lives, and that's something that I want to deal with, and this gives me the opportunity to do that. And if I don't do it now, it will only come back.
The summer before my first semester at the University of Minnesota, I was sent to basically this neoconservative boot camp for 3 weeks, where they basically just blasted us in a room 8 hours a day with liberals are taking over the world, liberals are taking over the media, communism is taking over the world, homosexuals are spreading disease. And we were just inundated and pounded with this stuff for 3 weeks. And I was told, you know, the school that you're going to is one of the most liberal in the country, and so you need this ammunition to be able to withstand that assault and to be able to come out of it sane. I was very, very confident and very, very expressed all throughout my childhood up to that point, and even through that point, even more so. I was like rampant in lecture halls, you know, debating professors in front of hundreds of people. Then came a series of experiences where I was just like, you know, standing up and speaking in front of all these people and just breaking down and just like publicly just sort of losing this confidence that I had had. And it was humiliating for me, because I realized that I had been led down a path that I didn't believe in and that I didn't even fully consider, and I resented that. I resented my parents for having sent me there. And then that just sort of, I think, planted these seeds of doubt in me that I can't be expressed because, you know, I'm just full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about, and you know, I'm just easily led into, you know, various concepts and things that really are not aligned with my spirit. And that started to carry over into everything, and then I just withdrew from the world, basically.
Nunca, nunca pudiendo dominar si tú.
I'm here to heal a skin disease that I've got, eczema. A few years ago, I was covered from head to toe in eczema. My skin was bright red, it was falling off. I was in complete agony day and night, I could barely move. You know, I spent all day in bed pretty much, and the doctors couldn't do anything for me. None of the medication would work.
You ready, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready. I tried all sorts of alternative treatments, nothing would work, and ayahuasca was very much a last resort. I pretty much reached the point where I couldn't go on, I couldn't live anymore. You know, with that sort of pain, I'd just had enough of life. And it was just complete desperation that brought me here. Salud.
We think about everything. It is only in your thoughts that you find right and wrong. It is only in your thoughts that you find good and bad. It is only in your thoughts that you experience duality. The problems are in your mind. Everything is in your mind. Open the mind so that motion can change the way you think, so you may have a new experience of yourself and the world in which you live.
The second ceremony, I was absolutely terrified to drink. I went into it just with a very, very high level of fear.
Going into the second ceremony, I already knew that I wasn't going to die, because I didn't in the first one, so I felt really comfortable about that.
I didn't know exactly what was coming, but I was crying a lot beforehand. I did not want to come into the ceremonial house, and I was just like, you have to do it, you have to, just one foot in front of the other.
They took me straight down into all of my fear and all of my doubt, and I was basically face down on the floor, begging. My greatest fear is fear of abandonment. I really am not a spirit of light, but a spirit of darkness.
My worst fear, I'm trapped in dark, negative, spiral, vortices,
If I have to put a face on fear, it's being alone and being abandoned.
You know, I fear other people's judgment still. I fear other people's judgment of us. I fear their negative judgment that they'll put onto us, rightfully or not rightfully, their own fears, and then judge us negatively for it. Maybe their judgment saying that, you know, we're druggies or we're something like that, or their own misunderstandings about what it is that we do, or, you know, the judgment that we could somehow be seen as being part of darkness or dark energies or doing dark work. If you get fear, the ayahuasca is not giving you fear. The ayahuasca is trying to relieve you of your fear. So let it go. Release it.
I always remember, you know, being scared of anything and everything. Growing up in the world, I was just around a lot of fear, and, you know, I thought the world was a big, scary place that was to be feared, and, you know, bad things happen there, and, you know, it's really not a nice place, not a nice way to live.
I had lots of fears. I think the biggest one would be that I would never find the key to what would heal me. I knew it was possible that I would die without ever being healed.
If you have anger and you can't let go of it, it is because you still want it. Be honest with yourself. Say, I still want this pain. I still want this hurt. I still want this anger. It still serves me in some way.
Aside from the very first ayahuasca ceremony that I participated in, which basically was me getting used to the ayahuasca, getting comfortable with the experience, all 9 other ceremonies that I've participated in, I have been reliving and releasing rapes.
During a ceremony, I spent a lot of time in the hell realms, which is a place that every time that we're feeling pain, suffering, any negative emotion, we're actually in hell.
You guys create the story of ayahuasca by what you bring to ayahuasca.
It went on for almost 4 hours. It took every ounce of my energy. I was like just barely breathing, just hanging in there.
It took me a long time, ceremony after ceremony, of having to go and visit those places to realize that that's not what I wanted anymore.
If you're stuck in what seems like feelings from the past, those are now. That is the communion that's taking place.
I really don't want any more. Fuck off! Fuck off out of me. The whole ceremony was a battle, the whole way through.
But I found that through accepting those experiences and saying, thank you for this experience, thank you for this fear, thank you for this doubt, it went away.
I felt better mentally. I felt better physically. You know, I felt like I could climb a mountain after my second one. And I haven't felt that way in a long time. A long time.
The Western world doesn't believe in a vision, they believe in hallucinations. They call it a hallucinogen. A vision is based in something that is real.
I would contend that the exact definition, conventional definition of hallucinogen as a compound that induces a false perception of reality may be questioned.
Ayahuasca is a visionary medicine. The visions that we have in ayahuasca are real. They are not hallucinations. They are based in a common, understood reality held by shamans that have trained and practiced this kind of shamanic medicine.
I'd say these are fascinating visionary substances, and although the terminology employed in modern medicine is hallucinogen, I would not take that from the standpoint that these are false perceptions. In fact, if one looks at the etymology of the word hallucinogen, going back to the ancient Greek, it derives from the word hallucinare, which translates out as mind wandering, mind traveling, mind journeying.
People think there are hallucinations in ayahuasca. There are not. There's no such thing as a hallucination in ayahuasca. Hallucinations are not based in reality. They're not based in anything real. They're not comparable. The visions that people have in ayahuasca ceremonies are. People see the same things. They connect to the same spirits. A vision is something that is based in reality, only it is governed by different rules and different laws than the physical world.
It's a matter of semantics, but it's important to take note of the fact that the people who are most experienced with ayahuasca speak quite passionately that the experience they undergo during their ayahuasca visions is not a false perception. Rather, there is a truth which often goes much deeper and has a much stronger grounding in reality than day-to-day conventional truth.
Help me. Help me.
My friend.
Oh.
Concentrate on the Carl.
I can't. Where are you? Help me.
I'm right here.
Help.
The problem is you're not here.
Help me.
You need to listen to the Icaro. The Icaro is your guide. The singing is your guide. Follow the singing.
Chuya, 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 cuerpocito con ayari.
Cuestión de los Icaros, ¿no? Son a base de los árboles que te enseñan.
Icaros are sung, but they're not songs. They're a system of communication, medicine, through sound vibration, intent, thought, and the words that are spoken in them with spirit. They are there to guide and direct the spirit of the people participating in the ceremony, and to provide guardianship and guiding through the entire ceremony. The Icaros call in Mariación, or the visionary effects of Ayahuasca. The Icaros call in medicine. They call in the energies that straighten, transform, and help heal others. They come from different realms. There are different kinds of medicine based in color, based in spirits, based in trees, based in ayahuasca, based in divinity. Purple medicine of the Shiwawaku. Yana yana shiwawagu, yana yana shiwawagu. Icaros are the backbone for every single ayahuasca ceremony, and without Icaros, it's not a ceremony. The shaman is directing the entire ceremony with the use of the Icaro.
Le agarras otro de defensas, de medicina, para proteger el cuerpo, para hacer limpieza. Hay diferentes Icaros para limpieza, para defensa, de todo, porque él te enseña de todo.
Cielo, cielo, ayahuasca, alto y manda y troncocito.
You use the Icaro to stimulate vision. You use it to calm it. You use it to save somebody from a difficult situation. You use it to purge energy. The Icaro guides, it links everybody together. It creates a unified force of energy that swirls within the ceremony, that is palpable, it's visual. You can see them with your eyes in ceremony.
Llamo fuerte, fuerte, espíritu ni, penetrangi choini, todo shungoini to.
When you receive an Icaro, you know it, it's inside you, and they reside within your body, alive. They come out of you in ceremony. They sing themselves. The spirits of the medicine inside your physical body sing them, and they teach you how to use them to be able to use Icaro medicine to be able to guide and direct that ceremony. Icaros are the most important part in the practice of an ayahuasca ceremony.
Chuya, chuya, sentidito, chuya, chuya, shunguni. Fresco, fresco, Icaro, mi cuerpocito kunayari. Fresco, fresco, Icaro, mi cuerpocito kunayari.
Do you want to fix what you see wrong with you in the world, or do you want to go deeper than that? Do you want to actually go into the relationship that you currently hold with yourself and the world? That's where the real juice is. That's the real meat. Most people aren't ready to look at that yet. They don't want to, and if they did, Pandora's box would open and their whole life would change. We have people who come here that doubt. Everybody who comes here doubts. Everybody who comes here suffers.
You know, I don't feel that just a few days down here and a couple ceremonies that, just all that skepticism would go away. I can honestly say it, it hasn't.
And if one goes into the experience as a skeptic, as a disbeliever, the optimal experience might not be that readily accessible.
In order to be healed physically, these are all issues I'm going to have to deal with, you know, going way back into my past and, you know, basically learning to love myself, which I realise now I've never done. And, you know, it's a process I'm going through at the moment of searching for my heart. It's almost like I didn't even know I had one.
It's only after you've gone past all of those layers and all the thinking is ended and the mind stops does a person have the opportunity to experience a truer expression of the self. People don't know themselves because they believed in a brand. They believed in a label. And that's all it is. It's an empty shell filled with thoughts. An empty shell filled with thoughts.
Cielo, cielo, ayahuasca, cito en
So you guys ready? Yeah. Is anybody not ready? Me. No, everybody's ready?
On to the third ceremony. How do you feel?
Excited, anxious.
I'm nervous as always, but feeling okay.
How you feeling?
I'm scared.
Hey?
Yeah.
Suena ringi, Maria Sioncito ini kunaya.
The last one, the Mariación did not come on for a while, and at one point I leaned over to Luco and said, I'm not feeling very Mariato, and he just laughed, and in about 5 minutes, the whole ceremonial house was just absolutely illuminated. It was like it had turned into a galaxy.
I got a lot of work done. Basically, the bulk of it was I released 14 more rapes.
I was just shown every kind of disgusting, horrible, frightening image that I never thought existed.
Hundreds and hundreds of these winged spirits that were just all around me, and I was really literally just weeping out all of my lack of self-acceptance.
Anything that you've ever imagined, seen, heard about, read in a book actually exists. This is all coming from spirit.
After working through these demons, I then actually purged the devil, Lucifer, and this other demon called Multichar. I don't know who that is or what that means, but so that was really good. I felt a lot lighter.
The last one, I really found what I was looking for down here. I really felt complete, what I was looking for, and I felt really good.
What it showed me through those visions is that I have to know that my essence is untouched by circumstances.
Ayahuasca is all about finding that, mercilessly teaching you what you need to learn. And I asked, teach me what I need to learn. And through all that ugliness, I was also shown all the times I'd ever hurt anybody in my past and got to see it from their perspective. I got to see everything about myself that I didn't like, things I regret, things I was ashamed of, things that I didn't even know existed. Really, really distant memories all came up.
That which we ally ourselves with is what we experience. Spirits express their nature, not an egoic concept, just their nature, just what is. When you ally with spirits that are based in love and kindness and joy, you experience love, kindness, and joy. When you ally with spirits that are negative, painful, create hurt, you get negativity, pain, and hurt.
Today's a hard day for me. I feel really small and vulnerable, and feel like the reality of it all is really sinking in at a deeper level. And this kind of crest of optimism that I've had is being a little disassociated to, like, I can stay on top of this. I can go in, but I'll come back. And now I'm like being pulled into me, and the full reality is making itself known.
It was unbelievable. I feel that it definitely changed me. Definitely, I feel changed. And I was real skeptical whether he was going to do that or not.
Hamilton comes up to me and goes, Debs, I can already see what we're going to purge tomorrow night. And I'm like, great, I'm so looking forward to that.
Purging is the release of crossed, negative, or demonic dark energy. That's all purging is. Anything that is involved in the release or the straightening of that energy is purging.
Bueno, si es para que vomiten, vomiten. Si es para que le mandan por atrás, le mandan por abajo, por adelante. Bueno, le está haciendo la limpieza, la curación.
That's very clear. It's very definitive. It can look physical. It can be mental. It can be energy. Some people purge really loud. Some people purge quieter. Some people don't throw up at all. Other people find that they manage it through breathing. Other people find that they manage it through shaking, sweating. All of those different experiences are different kinds of purging. All of those experiences are the release and the straightening of cross-demonic, dark, conflicted, negative, or afflicting energy. You can also see different kinds of people having difficulty purging. In one case earlier, and a few weeks ago, we had a guest that was having real difficulty purging. It was a real battle for her to be able to release those energies.
I'm trying to purge something. There's something deep inside me. It's stuck. I can feel it in my stomach.
Look deep within your heart. It is not your friend. Why do you let it in? Let it go.
No.
You don't want it. Look what it does. It is not nice.
No, I hate it.
It is ugly.
I hate it. I hate it. I want to let it go.
Then tell
Go.
yourself to
It
let
can
it
go.
go.
It can go now.
Open the door so
can
it can go.
go.
Open the door. Open the door so it can go.
Hay las personas que vienen con espíritus malos, cruzados, que ellos se asustan y ellos van criando ya ese susto en sus cuerpos.
All right, here we go. Give me all of them, girl. You don't need them anymore, and I want them.
Those energies were incredibly dark, and they're incredibly demonically based, and they were the cause of tremendous suffering for her, even the point of having eating disorders because of them.
Get this out. Get it out of me. Get it out. Get it out of me. I don't want it anymore. Get it out.
Good, little by little.
Get it out.
We will, little by little.
I'll be candid and admit that I have an addiction. I've had an eating disorder for over 20 years, and it causes me to self-harm. And my body's traumatized because of that.
In a case like that, you have to be able to build a tremendous amount of light energy to be able to release and move them.
It is not lighter than you.
No.
It is not nicer than you.
No.
It is not anything more than you. So it has not finished serving us yet. And when it has, it will go gently. So you have to let go of your fear of it.
That addiction has become so much a part of my identity that I can't imagine living without it. I don't know what it is to be without it. Oh, I'm not scared of you anymore! Go away! Go away! Get out of me!
After that, there'll be certain energies that will be too strong, too embedded, and too rooted to be able to release in that nature. And so you have to learn to release them by opening the heart and allowing love to unify, and through that force, release the dark energies.
Dad, remember love, girl. Remember love.
Yeah.
Remember love. That is with love we're gonna take this out.
Yes, 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 yes.
After the third ceremony, which was so hard and such a challenge, I thought for sure the fourth ceremony was going to be easy and love and light, because I thought I was strong enough to pull that out of myself and go back there. I was wrong.
I had a lot more visions. I was able to see myself as a little girl more.
Being in there though and not drinking ayahuasca, but being a part of that and being in there with those people, it's almost like just if you did take a dose of ayahuasca, you almost feel the same power of it.
After that, things got really, really, really dark. I started to lose up and down. I started to lose a sense of my body. Then I just couldn't move at all, and I was completely paralyzed and frightened. And every demon was enveloping me, and every fear and every darkness was just surrounding me, and I couldn't move, and I felt like I was going to die, and I was dying, and everything was the most terrifying. I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't process thought. I couldn't do anything except fear and darkness, and it was the most terrifying moment of my life.
What you feel in an ayahuasca ceremony is real. It's not hallucination. It's not a trip. It's not, some fantasy. You're feeling it in its rawness, and you're feeling the true power of it.
Oh God, it's right here.
And it can be overwhelming because it is, it's often so strong, so powerful.
I became schizophrenic. I was insane. I reached total insanity. Nothing could process, nothing could get me out. Everything was so overwhelming that I just didn't exist, except in a state of total despair, total fear.
Just all these fears. It's like I just lived them again. And then through those gateways, through them I was able to ascend then to these places of divine love and sanctuary that you can only get to, I feel in my experience, having worked through, having gone through those experiences of purging, going really, really, really deep into everything that we must release.
And for the next 2 hours, I had some really nice reintegrating moments with my body. I even had a moment in the ceremony where I was introduced to my sexual energy, which is a totally new thing for me.
Then I started screaming for Hamilton's help because I couldn't do it. I was lost. I just started screaming for him to help me, and he came over and he helped me. He came over and he told me he'd put a special Icaro in my drink that night, that he told me I wanted to see infinity, I wanted to meet the infinite, I wanted to meet God. Well, now you're going to.
Ahí viene nuestra Madre, la Virgen María.
And things became lighter, and things became beautiful, and I started ascending. I started seeing the light.
When last night's ceremony, I met God. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.
I died, and I went to heaven. I drank from the Holy Grail, and it was the cleanest, refreshing, beautiful, calming water I've ever tasted.
So it began by me purging out everything, you know, that was stopping me from seeing and experiencing God, letting go of all that. And then I finally got to meet him. And he was just completely different to how I imagined God to be. I think the thing that struck me the most was just how humble he was.
I was given the gift. I received the gift of divine love that I found the Holy Grail. Ayahuasca showed me this, and that's ayahuasca's message for everybody. You can find it because it is you. The love is you. Creation is us and everything.
You know, I ended up like crying my eyes out because he showed me how in every step of my life, through every trauma that I'd been through, that he'd actually been there the whole time. And all the times that I was hating myself and not loving myself, that he'd been loving me. You know, he told me that I was, you know, a perfect daughter, that everything I thought, felt, every single action was perfect. You know, and that, you know, I'd never done anything wrong, ever. And just showed me just completely how just compassionate and non-judgmental he is and unconditionally loving and completely humble at the same time. And I just cried because it's like all my life I've been, you know, searching for that kind of like love. And then last night I felt it from God and it was just the most amazing thing ever. And, you know, he was just telling me how I'm always safe and that he's always protecting me every single step of the way. And I really felt it. I really felt it. And it was like all of a sudden, all this fear just like melted away. It's like everything's okay. Everything always has been okay. No matter what trauma I've been through in my life, I'm still here to tell the tale, you know? I'm actually okay.
There is only one conclusion to all of this work. It is love. It is the only thing that brings conclusion. There is only one conclusion to the path of enlightenment. It is love. There's only one conclusion to the path of spiritual growth. It is love. There's only one conclusion to the path of spirituality. It is love. There's only one conclusion to the path of healing. It is love. So tonight we're going to go into the ceremony. It's the fifth ceremony. Fifth ceremony is typically a time where everyone's a little bit looser. You can imagine we've already gone through 4 of these. They can be intense. About 3/4 of the way through the ceremony, we're going to start giving bendiadas. We give bendiadas to everybody. It's for the purpose of putting arcanas or protective spirits onto them. These are spirits that will go with them for the rest of their lives. Spirits that will work with them. They're like spirit guides. They're also guardian spirits. They're going to keep them safe and protected. They're going to make sure that they stay in their body and that when they go home, they're going to be okay. And then afterwards, hopefully, we'll have deserved finally a little levity after slugging through the deep cesspool of dark energy that we've gone through this week.
So easy.
My last ceremony was very mild because I was freaking out going in. I talked to Hamilton and I said, I'm small, I don't know what to do. And he said, quarter cup.
I was also quite nervous because it was the last ceremony and I thought I can't go home to Vancouver with these dark energies in me. Please, ayahuasca, please. Can we just get it out tonight, whatever it is, and can it, please, please. I just don't have it in me. I'm exhausted. I don't want to go home and have to like reorganize in the next few weeks to come back. Like, I just need some peace.
Oh, yes, ayahuasca, yes, 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 yes. Go through my whole body. Here we go.
go.
Limpia, limpia, sentirito, limpia,
Thank you,
limpia, su
ayahuasca. Thank you, ayahuasca. Thank you, ayahuasca. Thank you, ayahuasca.
Fresco, fresco, cuerpecito que no hallaré.
Overall, it was a really tranquil ceremony. It was basically, ayahuasca said, you know, I'm not here just to unequivocally kick your ass every single time you drink me. It was almost, in a sense, a reward, saying, you know, you worked really hard, now just enjoy this ceremony.
Right now, I feel like I've dealt with my fears. I don't have any feelings of fears or regrets or anything now. I feel really clean.
Say yes, I'm free from you. Yay! I don't have to live here anymore.
Thank you.
Ah, everybody take a big deep breath. Ah. Remember that you have a body. Now we will begin our venteadas.
Yellow, yellow, mama, yari.
I think the more you drink ayahuasca, the more life changes, the more you realise everything you thought life was isn't true. I think if you stay here long enough, it will completely destroy everything you ever thought life was, everything you ever thought you were.
Hey, hey.
You know I'm not who I thought I was. I don't know who I am yet, I'm still searching for that. But I'm not Mark, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind. You know, I'm not my ego.
The fifth ceremony was really pivotal for me in getting to the place that I am and accomplishing the goals that I wanted to when I came. I really believe I have all the rapes out of me, and I have ahead of me integration, rebuilding of my body. Hamilton told me the night before the ceremony started that my auric field has filled in and that my body has substance, and I really feel like my strength coming in.
I felt great. I felt clean. I felt happy. I learned, you know, we get to be happy. That's our gift. A lot of the excitement and save me God stuff I was yelling, that's sort of faded out, and it's become much more simple. I think that was really just the shock of seeing that I got super hyper excited, and now I'm just like, it's all good. It's just all good.
All'infinito del mondo, hai dai di di dai dai di, hai dai 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 di 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 di.
Hamilton and Don Alberto are two of the most important people that I've met in my life. I feel that way.
It's absolutely amazing that there are people out here that dedicate their lives to helping others and sharing.
The power of the medicine, the changes that I see in people week to week, incredible changes.
It's been the most incredibly transformative week working with ayahuasca that I've had so far. And, you know, I mean, I wept, actually shit my pants, literally, during the week. I just have to come out and say it.
Hamilton and Don Alberto, for me, have saved my life. I feel so blessed to have met them. I feel absolute trust in them, which is rare for me, very rare. I respect them greatly. I feel very safe here.
I don't believe there's anybody else in the world that could have helped me. I think these guys are the only people that have helped me and, you know, literally saved my life. And when I think about everything that had to happen for me to be here and to find this place at the right time, you know, it's absolutely inconceivable that it's coincidence. I've no doubt I was guided here.
Wow. They have a certain power to them. I mean, when you talk to them, it's almost like they look right through you. You know, you can tell that they've been through a lot.
I've got the tools, I've got the strength to go back into my life, and I feel so positive. I feel so positive about things now.
Every structure that I had in my mind about how this life is and who I am is being broken down. Every time I can make a conclusion, that gets broken. And I find that this is something completely different to what I first believed. And it just gets better and better.
I can't imagine not doing this again, even when it's hard. I love it.
This comes from a country that has had this kind of healing for thousands of years, and I really open myself up to that and I learn as much as I can because I feel so grateful and feel that so hopeful that this kind of practice is always with us and doesn't die out.
Ayahuasca ceremonies have everything that life has in it. And it lets you see it really for what it is. It lets you move into the essence. It lets you move into the truth behind your experience. It lets you find yourself. It lets you answer the question, who am I really? Not my mind, not my body, not my heart. Who am I? Not my thoughts, not my thinking, not my feelings. Who am I? If we answered that question, if we collectively answered that question, the world would not look like the way the world looks today. We wouldn't have the values that we have. We wouldn't hurt each other. We wouldn't harm each other. If we could teach our children that level of love that we can learn through these kinds of shamanic practices, the world would evolve and the world would change. We would evolve and we would change. We'd be able to see that we're not separate. We'd be able to see that we're not alone. We'd be able to see that we're actually here to be able to support and help each other, love each other, and be compassionate with each other. These ceremonies can be a tremendous gift. What you give to yourself in that moment, the ayahuasca matches. The spirits match, the medicine match. They show you and they teach you and they train you how to love yourself, how to love others, how to be nice, how to be compassionate, how to share, how to be generous. It's a tremendous gift.
Temblor mama orakai Cerro Mantana konanai Cerro Mantana konanai Cerro Mantana konanai Tingamung ya chaita ya chairu nakunanai Kerosene mama yari temblor mama orakai temblor mama orakai Yellow, yellow, mama yari, Cerro Mantana kunanai. Yellow, yellow, mama yari. Hey, 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 hey.
Brilla, brilla, rebelbea, puras, puras medicinas. Sí, 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 cielo ayahuasca. Muchas gracias, medicina.